Alright, so I'll do a quick weekly outlook for this upcoming week. So before we look at DXY, we'll start off on economic calendar. On economic calendar, this week's a bit weird this week, because if you look at the economic calendar, you can see that on Wednesday we have NFP, and on Friday we have CPI, which usually, NFP is usually on a Friday on the first week of the month, but because on the previous week there was the government shutdown for a few days, then NFP got postponed, so they moved it to this week. So this week is a bit weird, but if we look Monday, no news. We have Sunday, we have JPY. Probably at the weekly open we'll see some news on yen pairs, but we'll go over yen pairs in a bit. And then Monday, no news. Tuesday, retail sales 8:30. Wednesday, NFP, so lower time frames you probably want to avoid trading pre-NFP and see price action afterwards. Thursday, pound news, unemployment claims, and then Friday, CPI. So same with CPI, probably best, unless you're already inside of a position pre-CPI, like you're holding a position from Wednesday or Thursday or something on the hourly time frame, then CPI probably want to avoid trading on that day as well. See post CPI. If we look at the weekly time frame on DXY, you can see that the previous week we took out this massive sell side liquidity, closed back inside of the range, a large wick. So monthly closed back inside of the range, and if you can see on the higher time frames, we're in a range in market. And then but then we also closed on a monthly time frame, and we formed this bearish order block, and we're pushing up higher starting into the month. So if you know monthly open high low close concept, this could be the potential area where the high of the month can form, and then we can continue lower. And if you look at the monthly time frame, we're technically in bearish order flow, even though prices are consolidating here. So we can see a continuation from this monthly order block into these lows and this low as well. So to be honest, is mainly dependent on how price reacts to this daily fair value gap. And last week, I wanted to see price push up into this and see how price reacts to it. So right now price is currently consolidating inside of this daily fair value gap. So it's hard to know if we're just going to go from the external low back into internal and then back to external again, or this is like a bullish AMD, sweep the range lows, go back for the range highs. Right now still conflicting on the daily and weekly time frame, weekly order block, weekly fair value gap. So we could technically still go lower from here. So right now on the higher time frames, not really a strong bias, but because I trade on an intraday basis anyway, it's mainly based on where do I expect the next daily candles to print. So like for example here, I was bullish towards the Monday highs. I was using the Monday daily candle to form the bias for the next few days. And Tuesday we had the previous day low sweep with SMT, with GU and EU. DXY didn't take out the lows, GU and EU took out the previous day highs, and then you use that to frame the narrative to trade towards the previous day low. So essentially you want to just trade from, if you're intraday trading, you just want to trade based off of where can you expect the next daily candle to trade towards, essentially a short-term bias. And if we look at this week, what I'm expecting, so last week we had the Monday range play, so the Monday range high, came back for the Monday range low on EU and GU, and DXY SMT trading above the Monday range high. So now, because we're trading inside of this breaker and this fair value gap on the daily time frame, and we're starting to see a push lower. And as you can see on the 4-hour time frame, on a 4-hour time frame, traded above the Monday range high, and we formed this bearish OB and this bearish 4-hour fair value gap, but at the same time currently in bullish order flow on the higher time frame. So this could be potentially a stop run. Price comes and sweep the previous day low, and then we come back for this high as well. And the reason I'm not fully convinced that we go lower here, even though, you know, on the daily we're starting to push lower, is because, you know, we do have this flat open here and we do have the previous week high. So there's a possible scenario, I'll say the first possible scenario, which is the one I'm mainly looking out for next week, is that because we have these equal lows here, even though this is SMT, we do have these equal lows here as a target, and which we are currently rejecting from this daily breaker block and this daily fair value gap. So in order to see if we're truly bearish here, I would like to see if price can come run up this high, and this will also be a potential market maker sell model, accumulation, manipulation, smart money reversal, low risk sell, and then this could be second leg distribution phase. So in order to confirm that we are in a market maker sell model on DXY, I like to see if, did not mean to do that, I like to see if we can run this high into this hourly fair value gap, and then see if we can get potential continuation here towards these equal lows. And then we also have equal lows here as well. And if you go into the daily time frame, daily fair value gap, and then we also have the Monday lows here. So for my currently I'm looking for a bearish DXY heading into Monday, because on Friday we have SMT with this with the previous day, with the first day highs with euro and pound. If you can see on euro, we took out the Thursday low, closed back inside of the range, closed above this candle, this daily candle. So you can consider that an order block. Me preferably, I like to use both candles, but this was also good enough. And so we have the SMT there, DXY, if I just take out the highs, but we also have this flat open. So the first scenario, I would like to see if we can sell off from this 4-hour fair value gap. If we get above this 4-hour fair value gap, then the second scenario that I'd be looking for is if we can take out this flat open and also the previous week high, and then I'll be looking for shorts from here. See if we can set up and then come forward these lows and these lows as well. So first scenario is the 4-hour fair value gap, see if we get a reaction to it. But if price can also technically go from this internal low back to this high again, and you know, anyone that tries to short this, you know, they could get cooked here. So that would be the first potential, that would be the two short scenarios that I'm looking for. But if there's another scenario where price is already like gapped lower and it's already trading inside of these daily levels, at this point I would just wait and see, because if we reject from this level, then we can look for potential longs, because this is a daily key level, right? Daily fair value gap, order block. Then there's a potential chance we can see another distribution leg higher, and then if we close above this fair value gap, we can expect price to go for these highs. But right now I do have the short bias in mind, because we are trading at this weekly order block, weekly breaker. Same thing on a daily breaker, premium of this range. So if we come and take out this high one more time and sell off, I'll be looking for that. If we sell off from this fair value gap and then come for all of these lows, these are the first targets. And then if we get like a nice daily closure below these lows, and maybe form another fair value gap, come up here, sell off here, form another 4-hour fair value gap, and then you can look for continuation shorts into this low, and then that would confirm the monthly high low close narrative, and we can look for continuation shorts next week. But yeah, that's kind of my higher time frame bias on DXY right now. I'm just looking for continuation shorts, and if we get proven otherwise that DXY is bullish, and get a closure above this fair value gap, or if we get a rejection from this fair value gap and the 1 to 4 hour turns bullish, then I'll be looking for longs into these highs. But yeah, if you look at euro, same thing as well. Breaker came into the discount of this range, and we've taken out this Monday low here and rejecting. So minimum, I would expect price to come for the Monday high or the Wednesday high, sorry. And then we also have this fair value gap as well, which would be the targets. Then depending how we react to these levels on euro, for example, if we come up here and then see hourly displacement again, then we can look for shorts into this low here. If not, if we don't see any reactions from these highs, then we can wait for another leg to form, and then we can aim for these highs as the next draw liquidity. So yeah, that's my game plan for euro. So we have this 4 hour fair value gap, same thing as well. We have this engineered low inside of this hourly fair value gap. Same thing on the 4 hour as well. We have this 4 hour order block as well, which is the which will also be the key level as well, which I'll be looking out for. But mainly this 4 hour fair value gap, I want to see price come back into. And if we take out these highs, then before coming into this area, then I'll just sit out and be more cautious, because this is a potential reversal area where price can continue. Because right now this is a range, right? So if we trade above the range highs and then turn bearish again, then that's a bearish AMD signature, and we still have this fair value gap and this upper fair value gap. So yeah, that's my game plan on euro. Pound, same thing. We came into the discount of this dealer range. Came into the OTE levels 705, and we've taken out the previous day low and pushing higher. So form this 4 hour order block, but again we've also ran this high. So same with DXY, we've taken out this low, previous day low, which could be a potential chance that there's a stop run and we go higher. Same thing here, right? We had this stop run which probably fooled people to go short on DXY, and then we just continued higher. So this could also be the same thing. So I'd be cautious and see how we react to this fair value gap. If we get above it, then I'd actually flip and look for longs towards these highs. Same with euro, with pound. If we start to displace lower and show no respects to this 4 hour order block, then to me on pound, which looks pretty clean, we have all of these equal lows here, and this would be like the high time frame AMD accumulation, manipulation, and then now we're in the distribution phase. And if we get below here, then we could just look for continuation shorts into these lows here. So that's my bias and that's my game plan for pound. See if we can get longs from here. If we disrespect it, then get below, then we can look for shorts into these lows. And then euro pound, so this one cooked me last week because I had the wrong bias on it. My game plan was to look for shorts into all of these lows here. I don't short euro pound, but if you can see on euro, I use it for intermarket analysis to pick shorts between euro and pound, or to pick longs between euro and pound. And I picked shorts on euro with a pound last week, and you can see how we went lower. But if you look at pound compared to euro, pound was the way we compare, and euro was pretty much a headache. So yeah, we took out the previous day low, and then we just had this massive push higher, and now we took out the buy side. And euro pound is a consolidated pair. So currently, because we've had the sell side sweep and displacement out, and we also have equal highs here, right? This is equal highs. So for me on euro pound, I'm bullish on this pair, and unless we lose the daily fair value gap. If we lose this daily fair value gap here, then my bias is bearish on this pair, and my assumption is we're gonna go for these lows here next into the weekly fair value gap. So right now, the way Euro Pound is moving, I think we'll probably take out this low, but we also have the daily fair value gap that we can go higher from. So my bias would be to anticipate longs from here, and then we take out these highs. If you look at the weekly time frame, it's pretty consolidated, but yeah, my bias would be to come and take out these highs on Euro Pound here, which would mean Euro would be the stronger pair, and we have this daily fair value gap that's untapped, which would give Euro the strength to go up into. But yeah, we'll just have to see towards the midweek how Euro Pound is looking, and we'll check USD CAD. So because the bias is a bit indecisive right now, my short-term bearish on DXY, but that can change easily. Right now on USD CAD, we're currently in a range, right? Price is just consolidating inside of this range, and the weekly candle closes an inside bar. So right now we have equal highs on a weekly time frame, and we have this weekly fair value gap. So my bias would be to wait for price to run this high into the weekly fair value gap and then look for shorts here. But again, it has to align with the DXY bias. So if I'm short on DXY and we take out these highs, then I'd be interested in shorts. If DXY is bullish, then I would be interested in longs towards these highs. But to be honest, because we're in such a range, it's not really the most high probability type of trade. To be honest, I'd rather just wait for price to tap the weekly fair value gap, because then we have and if we reject from here, then it's much more high probability, because then we're trading in line with the weekly order flow and the daily order flow. I'd rather not look for longs from the range lows to the range highs, instead of just wait for price to tap the weekly key level and then look for shorts instead. So that would be the play that I would be looking for on USD CAD. Euro CAD, not really equal lows here, equal lows, and we have this daily fair value gap. So if we come up to here, then I would be interested in shorts, but yeah, nothing for now. This one, GCAD in a range as well, taking out these range, take out this weekly low here and rejecting, so nothing for me here. UJ, so DXY, if the DXY bullish bias comes into play, then I'd be interested in UJ, because UJ, you can see we're heavily bullish right now from this monthly fair value gap here. Weekly is heavily bullish, and we have equal highs here, and we also have this high, so I'd think we go higher on this pair in my opinion. And we're currently rejecting off this daily fair value gap, and you can see on Friday DXY was a bearish candle, UJ was a bullish candle, which shows that, you know, yen is extremely weak compared to the dollar. So if DXY longs come into play, then I'll be watching UJ, but for now I'm definitely not short in this pair. EJ, which is the cleaner pair out of all of the yen pairs in my opinion. This pair, to be honest, I don't really see another. I'm currently long on this pair, right? But I don't really see another opportunity to get in unless we retrace into one of these 4-hour fair value gaps. But yeah, clean on a weekly. We're in currently high time frame bullish order flow in a bullish trend. And in the bullish trend, we swept some sell side liquidity and have seen immediate reaction to it, displaced higher, and we inverted this daily fair value gap, turning it into a inversion. So you have this inversion fair value gap, you have this bullish fair value gap aligning, so this is a bullish BPR, and then on Friday we swept this previous day low into the daily BPR, and on the 4 hours, well, market maker buy model, smart money reversal, and then we have the second leg, which is also an AMD, right? Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. And now that we've closed above the range highs and we had the strong closure above the previous day high, I'm expecting price to just rip higher on Monday towards the buy side. So yeah, I'm pretty sure my trade position anyway. So this is the trade that I took. Asia swept the previous day low into that daily key level, and then we closed above this inversion fair value gap, and then we formed this bullish fair value gap, which is also a BPR. Same thing on a daily, just on a 1 hour time frame. traded into the BPR, and then we pushed higher, formed another hourly fair value gap, which is my entry, and on the 4-hour time frame for our order block. So very, very clean. This should just send towards the highs, and then this would be the level which I go break even on my trade. So see how Monday opens. And if you see on yen, we have news on Sunday, so towards the weekly open there's probably going to be a gap. So if we come and gap up here, then that'll be very good for the trade. And yeah, we have the previous month high as well, which is my TP. So yeah, that's my that's what I'm watching for on yen. And to be honest, I'm not really trying to add to my position here, but yeah, same thing on GJ. Weekly fair value gap, daily fair value gap as well. Tapped into it, displaced higher, took out the buy side, retraced into these daily fair value gaps and this daily order block. Previous day low sweep. It looks a bit shittier on this pair compared to EJ, which is why I took EJ over GJ. But yeah, took the previous day low, displaced higher, inverted this 4-hour fair value gap. So this should also head towards the buy side next. But yeah, because we don't have any high resistant highs, and EJ just looks way cleaner with the daily BPR, and we have this high here. We already swept the high here on February the 4th, and EJ hasn't done that yet. So this high is still my draw liquidity. So yeah, way cleaner to take EJ than GJ, even though you can see how bullish GJ was on the day because Euro Pound was bearish on Friday. But yeah, Aussie, this one also looks pretty clean. This one, to be honest, I don't really trade this pair, but yeah, this does look pretty clean, right? In a range, we took out the range lows into the daily fair value gap, and then now we're starting to push higher. And on the 4-hour, closed above this 4-hour form in the order block, came into the order block, and we're expanding now, and we've even inverted this fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame as well. So we have equal highs here. So in my opinion, on Monday we should just open and come for all of these highs next. And then same with on NZD as well. Same thing, weekly fair value gap, pushing higher from it, and we have equal highs here. So in my opinion, these pairs move like shit, but to be honest, the higher time frames, they look very clean, right? Weekly key level, small money reversal, order block, 4 hours turn bullish. So this should be the second leg distribution leg, and we should take all of these highs out on NZD next. So yeah, very, very clean in the markets. You're odd. This weekly lower weekly fair value gap is the next draw on liquidity on this pair. But again, the delivery on the pair is quite choppy on the lower time frames, like very, very choppy. So nothing that I'm interested in. But yeah, drawing liquidity on these pairs is very obvious. Even this pair, I'm expecting it to come forward this November low next. If you look on the daily as well, market maker sell model. But yeah, nothing that I would take. We got equal lows here on the daily time frame. So the reason, like, these pairs, they don't really move the cleanest, and price can chop here before taking out this low. So bit of a headache, nothing that I want to look into. Swiss, this one looks pretty clean as well. We have this engineered high into this daily fair value gap, and we've started to consolidate above it. So if the bearish DXY bias comes into mind, a nice AMD into the previous month low would be the play that I'd be looking for on Swissy. So yeah, UCAD and Swissy would be look like good pairs to look for shorts at. To look for shorts if DXY bias comes into play, and then Euro and pound longs, they look good for longs. But I would prioritize, to be honest, I'll prioritize Euro over pound here because we have this untapped daily fair value gap. But yeah, oil in a range after we've taken out the high time frame draw, so not interested. Bitcoin took out the high time frame draw and liquidity, and to be honest, the way that we're moving right now, I do think that we're going to come into this 50k level. We have this initial consolidation, and to me this looks like we're going to continue this higher time frame market maker sell model into this low. But right now, because we've taken out this higher time frame draw and we're massively overextended, I would wait for price to consolidate and engineer some liquidity here, because now everyone's got a short bias, right? For some reason people didn't have a short bias here, but everyone's got a short bias here now because we've had this massive move. But yeah, I would wait for more consolidation to develop, and that will start making people start think that we're bullish again. And then, to be honest, I don't really like how we have this daily fair value gap which is untapped. We have the perfect set of equal highs here, and we haven't tapped into this level yet. So if I was to look for something on Bitcoin, I would wait for price to run this weekly fair value gap into the daily fair value gap. So, and to be honest, you could actually look for longs into that level, but for me personally, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to wait for shorts on Bitcoin. But yeah, if we come up to this level and then we start to sell off, then I would be interested in looking for shorts on Bitcoin back into the 50k region. That would be my game plan from that weekly fair value gap. So yeah, same thing. I'm just waiting for price to consolidate, engineer some liquidity, just like here, how we engineered a bunch of liquidity here, and this is like a 2-month period, swept all this liquidity into the fair value gap, and then we had this massive sell-off. So I'm kind of just waiting for the same thing. Nice, higher time frame AMD, and then we come and take out the slow. So yeah, that's my game plan. Same thing on ETH as well. We have this weekly fair value gap, and we've already taken out this low here. So we've already hit the higher time frame drawn liquidity, so prices are likely to consolidate before we go lower again. So we'll just wait for price to consolidate, engineer some liquidity, and then look for shorts here. So this is usually where people fuck up and they lose the equity trying to short here when price is you already missed the move from here to here. So if you try short here without waiting for a new setup to form, then this is where a lot of people will get cooked here. So this right here, patience game, just wait for price to develop, and we can look for shorts from the weekly fair value gap, and potentially as well this daily fair value gap, maybe SMT on Bitcoin or Ethereum, because we haven't tapped this daily fair value gap as well. So that's what I'll be waiting for. And then yeah, we have these perfect sell equal lows at 1.4k. So in my opinion, that's what I'd be looking for, something like that on Ethereum. But yeah, gold as well. Finish off with gold and NQ real quick. Gold, very, this is a pretty bullish weekly closure. Ran all of these weekly lows into this weekly order block. Closed back inside the previous week's range. Bullish close. Respected the daily fair value gap, went lower, and now if we close above this upclose candle, this is going to become a we haven't closed above it yet, but if we close above it, it's going to become a propulsion block on the daily time frame, which I would then assume that we would continue higher for all of these highs, this high being a short term, and then it's these highs next on gold. So on the 4-hour time frame, we came into this 4-hour fair value gap, and then now we're starting to see price turn bullish again on the 4-hour time frame. So for me, these highs are the next drawn liquidity for gold. So what I'd be looking for is price to come into this 4-hour fair value gap, and preferably also take out this low into the 4-hour fair value gap, and then like a nice AMD, and then we can look for longs into these highs, and then potentially even these highs as well. But yeah, I would say these highs will be a bit ambitious because of how much we've displaced lower, but from the weekly closure, I'll definitely not write it off on the cards. But yeah, we also have SMT on the daily time frame with silver. As you can see, silver made a lower low, gold fell to make a lower low, and actually respected the 4-hour bullish key levels. So yeah, I would say silver goes for this Wednesday high And then I would expect gold to trade way above this high. Then if, because of how bullish this pair is, if silver comes and runs this high, then gold could potentially already be somewhere close to all-time highs. So bullish on gold, see if that setup forms on gold. And then NQ, I said I was bearish on NQ, right? We had the daily SMT displacement, and NQ, in my opinion, I would only look for shorts on here, right? Because we have equal lows here on the daily time frame. So the previous day low went back higher, and we're now inside of this daily breaker block, and we've just swept some internal highs into that daily breaker block. So daily fair value gap as well. So say we, consolidate here, run this high again, and then we start seeing bearish structure form again, then I would be interested in shorting something like this into this low. So trading at the bearish key levels, so all we have to do is just wait for the hourly and 4-hour order flow to flip bearish here, and then we can look for shorts here. So yeah, it's just a waiting game for NQ here. And yeah, I think that's it for this week, so we'll just wrap it up here.